lot out there at the minute. He's the front runner and he ticks a lot of boxes. I mentioned before the boxes I thought he doesn't tick. I didn't get the chance to say the ones he does tick.
Go on then. But you have now.
Well, he's obviously this season has been fantastic, unbeaten. I think he's done a fantastic job with Leverkusen to take them from near relegation to top of the Bundesliga. The manner in which, like Andy spoke about, the way they play and what he did against Bayern Munich suggests he definitely knows what he's doing and his team play for him. And he's got a relationship with Liverpool and the fans like him, which will buy him time if it doesn't go well in the initial stages, I think. But I just don't know, Richard. What worries me about it is the state that Liverpool's left in is so good. It's kind of the job you can't turn down if they come knocking.
Hold on, you say the state that they've been left in, so...
A very good state.
Van Dijk's contract is running down with no sign of it being either renewed or him
well, you don't know
signing
that.
another one.
Trent,
Alexander-Arnold,
yeah,
same. Mo Salah's leaving.
I get, yeah.
So there's a bit of remedial work to be done then, isn't there?
But if somebody like Xabi Alonso comes in, why would Van Dijk want to move on? Why would Trent Alexander-Arnold want to move on?
Because, well, in the latter's case, Real Madrid are calling.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, I agree there. The challenge. Listen, they've won the Champions League with Liverpool. They've won everything with Liverpool apart from the Europa League. So, you know, if the challenge suited them, maybe not so much Trent because he's a homegrown boy and he might feel his heart's there and he doesn't want to leave. And if his mum tells him he's staying, he's staying. And that might happen, knowing his mum. But Van Dijk, I think, is different. I think Salah's different. They're from different countries.
Would it matter to Liverpool fans that Alonso's style is very different to Jurgen Klopp's? He does like his teams to pass the ball about, doesn't he?
Yeah, but what's happened through that football club is Klopp runs that system right through first team into the academy, the 23s, the 21s and then the 18s. So that's why when the kids come through, the likes of Conor Bradley, they look like they've been involved forever because they grow up through that system. Trent was another one, Curtis Jones was another one. So if you're going to come in and all of a sudden rip the blueprints up and decide to change and go a different way, then you're going to have to run it through the club. Yeah. You can't just go, well, it's the first team and everything else stays the same.
So it might be him that's got to slightly compromise on his beliefs, do you think?
Well, yeah, because and with Klopp, he buys players to fit his system. That's why no superstars come into that football club, because he rounds them off. Núñez, it took a while to get him up to speed. Probably still hasn't got him 100% there, but like I said, he's a bull in a china shop. Sometimes if you take a little bit out of them, they're half the player, aren't they? So you've got to go with it a little bit. But he's adapted. Szoboszlai's adapted. McAllister's adapted. They come in and adapt quick, because they learn very quickly the way he wants to play. Who
would your choice be as a Liverpool supporter?
I'm torn between Xabi Alonso. I mean, I know him and he's a great fella. I love him to bits. He's brilliant. But do you know what my heart is? I don't want him to fail, and it's such a big job to go into. It's like David Moyes when you can't turn it down, can you? But really, you're thinking, how do I follow Sir Alex Ferguson?
You didn't complete the sentence. I'm torn between.
Well, Postecoglou for me.
Postecoglou.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. I just like him. I like him. I like the way he plays. I think he's got a bit of charisma. I think he can relate to the crowd. I know you would argue with me. He's not great in front of the cameras, but I think he's...
I think what Liverpool need to do,
he's had a season in the Premier League.
Right. I think that it's really tough to replace a legendary manager. We've seen that twice in recent years with Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex.
Have you been Jock Stein, and have you been them where they've needed replacing? Have you been around that?
Well, only Jock when he passed, was manager of Scotland. They had to replace with Scotland. They replaced him with Fergie. So
it's not,
they didn't do bad. But what I'm saying, United didn't get it right.
Yeah.
Arsenal didn't get it right the first time of asking, and I think that it's important that Liverpool get it right. My worry for Liverpool is, if not Xabi Alonso, if by chance they don't get him for whatever reason, they don't get him, then who? I'm a bit like Kesey. I'm not convinced on Postecoglou and Liverpool would be a marriage made in heaven. I'm really not. And you're right when you say that.
Why?
Well, He's managed in Asia.
He's been around a long time.
That doesn't make him a good coach. He's managed in Asia. Well, he's managed Celtic and did particularly well at Celtic.
You say that, Andy, right?
And
the argument there.
How long has he had at Tottenham?
Can I just throw the argument in here, right? You say he's been around a long time, but for me, he's just not been fashionable. It's always been Ancelotti, it's always been Mourinho, it's always been Conte, it's always been Mancini. It's kind of like that merry-go-round of them managers, and he just was on the periphery, wasn't he? And he just never got in. He never got in, so he had to go somewhere else. And then all of a sudden, because, was it Eddie Howe, Celtic?
No.
Who was it who didn't take the Celtic job? And he got
somebody Eddie Howe might have been.
It might have been Eddie Howe. They wanted Celtic, didn't they? Celtic wanted Eddie Howe, and he said no, and he got his opportunity. Then he went and done really well with Celtic.
Yes, he did.
All right, it's not the massive competitive league, but he done well with Celtic. He's still got to win the league and everything. So he's kind of had to really push to get where he is.
I can see it from the personality perspective that he is a big character. So I get that he can manage.
But you need to be Keezy to manage
Tottenham's
Liverpool.
a big club. Let me first.
Tottenham's a big club.
Getting him out, I think, would be nearly impossible. Do you know who I would go after?
Oh, you changed your mind? You were Xabi Alonso.
You threw Nagelsmann at us. You've thrown.
No, I've thrown a number of names at you and said don't rule them out. But do you know what I would do?
Seriously?
Yes. I would sit Jurgen Klopp down and I would say, what do you want? Because you're not leaving. So tell us how we accommodate what it is that makes this job possible for you to continue in it.
I 100%
And we
agree.
will do that.
I 100%
If it means you've got to take Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday off some weeks, that's fine. If you want to live in Mallorca in your big new house that you're building, that's also fine. But you are too big a character in and around this club for us to allow to leave.
And
that's
too,
not
and too
happening.
young. And too young to
So
call
you
it
tell
again.
us what it is we can do to make sure that going forward you're happy in this job.
I'll tell you the other thing that worries me as well. You know, there's an argument and a debate out there. FSG, you know, have they been good for the club? Have they been? It's, you know, some people. It's like that. I personally think what they've done at the football club, they've done a very, very good job. I think they have. I think they have a model. I think they've supported Jurgen Klopp in that. Maybe they haven't given him everything he's wanted, and he's worked in the restraints of that. But it's been okay. It's been okay. Yeah. They've produced 2 new stands. They've produced a training ground. And listen, we've had success under their ownership. Their portfolio right now is not that healthy. I think it's the Penguins aren't doing too great, but certainly the Boston Red Sox aren't doing great. And they brought someone in, I think called Joel Epstein, I think, who they bring in is a bit of a firefighter. He deals with it when it's not going too well to kind of find solutions for them. I just don't know whether if Jurgen leaves, it kind of, because they've already mentioned about...
What, damages the brand?
There's that. And then there's also, do we want to keep hold of this now? Is it time to sell? They bought it for what, 300 million? Just over maybe, just under, around them figures. It's now worth in the region of 3 or 4 billion. It might be just time. And then all of a sudden, it all starts unravelling. And then it worries me that...
Unless there's another reason, and we're all still speculating as to what that might be, I think you sit Klopp down now and you just go through everything with him.
I think about what you said to
me. Maybe the
Shankly.
pressure from the last 4 weeks has helped him perhaps even reassess. Maybe in the back of his mind he's thinking, maybe I haven't done the right thing.
Do you know what? I'm a bit with you, Richard. I see Jurgen Klopp now. And he's come out and he said he's tired. He's had enough. It's wearing him down. I don't see publicly a sign of that. Now, I don't know privately when he gets home and sits down there and he's absolutely exhausted and spent. Yeah. We don't know that. But certainly publicly, there is not a single thing changed in him. He's still out there punching and pumping and arguing and getting all enjoying it. I mean,
you get a second win, though, don't you? When
you do.
When you see an ending.
But, so it's just strange that he would want to turn his back and all that. I mean, that's for want of a better description. It's a drug, football.
Yeah, I've said before.
And it's difficult to put it down.
Sometimes in your life, you arrive at a place that is just perfect.
Perfect for you.
And I think Liverpool is for Klopp, and I think Klopp is for Liverpool. And there is no other club in the world he could go to, no other job in the world, I don't believe, that he could take where he would feel as comfortable as he does now, nor whether he is loved, and it is love. Absolutely. That he feels at Liverpool. He'll never find that again.
But success helps him.
That's a huge part of being happy in life.
I think the only job he'll take is a national team.
The national team.
But he still wouldn't feel the same affection.
He wouldn't.
In that job as he gets from Liverpool fans.
What sticks with me is what you said when you worked with Shankly when he left, and he regretted it every day. And
every day of his life.
And I tell people this. I say, you know, Keezy says to me, he worked with Shankly when he quit, and he regretted it every day of his life.
Could he take a sabbatical?
That's what I'm thinking.
Could he
give him a year out?
Could they say, listen, do what Guardiola did. Yeah. Take a year out. Go and do what you want to do with the family. Go and recharge your batteries. We'll get by with your staff for a year, no problem. Not going to get relegated or anything stupid like that. Yeah. And then come back in refreshed and ready to go.
I always thought that if Liverpool had waited for Kenny, when Kenny was unwell as a result of everything he'd poured into reconstructing the club and families, many of them, you know, large proportion of Merseyside after Hillsborough. If Liverpool had said, okay, that's fine, you know, we understand entirely that you need time away. If they'd waited,
I don't think.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
I believe that Kenny would have, some 3 months, maybe 6 later, he would have gone back. The problem then was Peter Robinson was the club secretary, and Peter felt that Kenny was taking his club over. And I think Peter was enormously relieved and couldn't wait to get a replacement, and rushed out and got Graham, who also wanted to take the job fairly quickly. If Liverpool had waited, so I look back at that time, and I think now, just give it a beat.
I know.
Just everybody back off a little bit, and then let's see what we can do.
I get that
in the
about
next
Kenny,
3 months. Everyone will take a beat, surely, in a breath in the next, 3-4 months before it officially finishes the season. And who knows, it might change. People can change their mind.
I get that, what you're saying about Kenny. But Kenny was spent. It was
totally
what he'd gone through, what them players had gone through, them families. You know,
he had to leave at that time because he was unwell.
Yeah.
But I do believe that as time passed, he would have recovered his appetite for it.
Didn't he? He went back.
Well, eventually, but it was fairly roundabout route.
Yeah, it was maybe a bit too late for him.
But that's all I'm saying. I
agree with you, though. Klopp.
There's only one person to replace Klopp at the end of the day, and that's Klopp.
Yeah. And now the club will whoever takes over that will change. It will not be.
That's my worry for Xavi.
It will change. And I think, you know, we talked about just quickly, Xavi Alonso. Xavi Alonso, I don't think, if he's a coach in his own right and he's had the success and he wins the Bundesliga with Leverkusen, playing the football he plays, there's absolutely no reason for him to come into Liverpool and not want to do that. That's what he knows. That's his style.
But the other thing as well, Andy, is like, you look at this now, right? You've got coaches, you've got managers, you've got sporting directors, right? Klopp is a manager of a football club. Xavi's a coach. Xavi's a coach. He just deals with his first team. He coaches and he sets the philosophy out, and it's all him. That's what he does, and his staff work under him. Klopp, he's not like that. Klopp manages the football club. He manages the first team. He delegates, you know, Pep Linders, Peter Kravitz and John Achterberg, his staff, and all the rest of them around.
You don't think he would do that at Liverpool? See, I don't think Xavi. I don't think Xavi's that kind of makeup. Xavi's a coach, hence why he works with his first team squad. Doesn't go through the football club. It doesn't. It stops there, and he's getting success. Brilliant. Liverpool's different, though.
Liverpool's different.
It's different from Leverkusen.
I know.
The option,
and I don't want it to fail.
That's it.